Hi there. My name is Phyllis Solomon. I'm with JCA Interages and part of our new project, interviewing. The interview project is something we're very excited about. And I'll just briefly introduce Uma and Debbie. Take it away.
Hi, I'm Uma, and I'm really excited to talk to you. So if you're ready to get started, I am.
Yes. Hi, Uma. Let's do it.
So the first question is, why did you want to switch careers from a lawyer to an author?
Ah, hmm. Well, I had always wanted to be a writer, really, and I just didn't do it. I ended up going to law school and going into law instead, and I'm glad I did. But it wasn't my first love. When I was a girl, I loved reading more than anything. I even was trying my hands at writing books when I was 7 years old. They were awful, but my mother kept them. I still have them. After being a lawyer for about 6 years, I got a great job as an editor at a newspaper, but still was nagging at me that really I wanted to be writing. And finally came around to taking a class at the Writer Center in Bethesda, which you may know about. And it was about writing for children. And I loved it. I thought this is something I could really get into.
The next question is, what does your typical writing routine look like? How long do you write for, and where do you like to write?
Typically, and it varies, I feel fresher in the morning, not super early. I'm not one of these 4 a.m. writers, but like when you're going to school, I'm writing. And so I might be sitting and writing anywhere, right? Anywhere, in the chair by the window, at the computer. If I'm writing, so during the pandemic year, I was working on a poetry book for National Geographic. All I had to do was focus on one poem at a time, one animal, an armadillo poem, a monkey poem, because this is a book about animals for National Geographic. And so there too, I could write anywhere, and I could write on a pad of paper. But when I'm working on longer works, at the computer.
And then the next question is, what inspired you to write a children's book about Justice Ginsburg?
Well, definitely I was inspired by my legal background. It was sort of kind of a natural subject for me. I just love how very influential she was, without being a screamer, without being loud. I mean, if you were in conversation with her, you had to lean in to hear what she was saying. She was so soft-spoken, but people stopped and listened because this was a woman who thought before she spoke, and I just found that so admirable.
What was the most rewarding part of the writing or publishing process for I Dissent?
Two things, really. One is, when you write a book, you don't really know how it's going to be received. But something about Ruth Bader Ginsburg just really clicked. And that was really rewarding to know that children were admiring her. The other really rewarding thing was to know that she liked it. We did an event together at the Library of Congress in front of an audience of DC students, about fourth grade, I think. And it was the first time I was reading the book, just parts of it, in front of her. I didn't really know it at the time, but later the thing was videoed, was taped, and there are still photos, and she's smiling. That was the other really rewarding thing.
That sounds really, really nice.
It was great.
To see her reaction. Are there any projects or books that you are planning on working on now or in the future?
Well, this poetry book that I talked about is my next big project. It comes out in October. I have some books that are out there with publishers. One is with my son, who is also a writer. I can't really talk about what it's about, but But if one day in a few years you see a graphic novel by Debbie Levy and Ben Hoffman, you'll know that we talked about it here.
You said you're looking forward to working with your son. So have you worked with him in the past, or like when you were thinking about this idea, how did that go?
We haven't worked together on a book before, but he has reviewed early and also not so early drafts of many of my published books. So that's the only work we've done before together. But I'll add that this project just kind of came out of, it's sort of a pandemic silver lining. For a couple of months, he and his partner left New York and stayed with us. And, you know, you sit around talking, what would be a good project, what would be a good thing to work on, and one thing led to another.
Well, that's all the questions I had, but that was really interesting to speak with you.
Thanks, Uma.